This is the second video explaining the use of Feedbank Manager to facilitate ingredient management between nutritionists and mills. The first video gave a general overview of the program, how it provides a handshake between mills and AMTS.cattle and/or AMTS.small-ruminant software. In this next video, Caroline Rasmussen explains the process in FBM to update feeds and ready them for reconciliation in AMTS.cattle or small ruminants.
One of the primary functions of FBM is to quickly and accurately move data from mill formulation software to AMTS cattle and from AMTS cattle to mill formulation software. I will demonstrate moving the data from the mill software to FBM and then updating or reconciling the data in AMTS cattle. To import the data from the mill software to FBM, click on Import Data. There's choices of the mill export file format, and we're going to choose XML. The last import that you made will be the default, so you don't have to change it if you're using the same folders or file names. Notice that you can change the import price. You can import the price or not have the prices imported each time. This time we're just going to import new nutrient information. And there's a map file that maps from the mill software to AMTS cattle because they might not have the same units for the nutrients, and there's going to be a conversion process done by the map file. So you can have a different map file for different mills or different software. This is the different mills that I have in this example set. So I'm going to choose the BAM mill. I could actually bring it to both, and I click on Load. Now usually you'd have many more feeds in the import, but I just have a small sample set. So this is going to import from my mill software the bakery blend, urea, rumensin, mineral, and vitamin A. And I can choose to have all import to all of the mills or just some of the mills. I'm just going to bring it into that BAM mill. Now watch this lower level when I click on the check mark, and it's going to, down in the left here, it's going to tell me that it's updating the feeds. When it's all done, it will say that the import is complete right there. So I'm done here. I've imported from the mill software. Now I'm going to update my user feedback file. The user feedback file is the file you're going to send to the nutritionists that you're working with that are using feeds from that mill. So I'm going to update the AMTS user feedback. So I'm going to select that BAM mill feeds, and I've already created a user feedback with those mill feeds. I have two ways to select data to populate that user feedback. I can just select them, boop, 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 select them, or I can use a script if I'm always updating the same list of feeds, and it's called a saved feed list. So I'm going to use the saved feed list, and I just hit this check, and again down this lower left corner it's telling me what's going on, and boom, its feeds have been saved to the feed bank from the feed list. So all those feeds have been updated for the values I just pulled in from the mill software. I say okay. Now I'm going to go to my AMTS Pro, leave FBM. We've moved the feed and data from the mill software into a user feed bank. Now we'll see how this information gets updated in AMTS feed banks and recipes in the cattle and small ruminants program. In AMTS cattle and small ruminants, if you go to the settings screen and then to reconciling, you'll see a checkbox, automatically reconcile farm feeds against company feed banks. If that is checked, the AMTS cattle program will look at the feed banks that are in the feed banks folder when the program starts. And when a farm file is opened, it will compare all the feeds in the farm file to feeds in the feed banks, all of the feed banks in the feed bank folder. And if newer feeds or updated feeds with a newer date are shown in a feed bank, that will be displayed on the farm opening for you to import and reconcile your feeds to the newer feed nutrient values and prices. You can choose how this reconciling looks here in the reconcile type. So you can have it absolutely in the background with no notification, just happens. You can have it give a very simple notification, we're updating your feeds. You can have a simple confirmation, do you want us to update your feeds, yes or no? Or I prefer the detailed confirmation where you actually can see the feeds that are going to be updated and you can choose which ones. So let's do that, and we will close this, and I'm going to open a farm file. And here are all the feeds that have been updated for either the prices or the feed nutrient values since I've entered data in this farm file. So you can see the dates that the feed values were updated and the dates that price values were updated. You can choose over here which feeds are updated, or you can select all. Click Reconcile. It will give me one last chance. Are you sure you want to continue? Because it's going to overwrite the values that are currently on that farm file. I say OK, and the feeds have been reconciled, and I'm good to go. I will see new nutrient values and or prices in my recipe screen and the feed screen.
The next video will illustrate more of the benefits of using FBM in conjunction with AMTS feed formulation products. If you are interested in knowing more about FeedBank Manager and all the AMTS products, go to agmodelsystems.com or email support@agmodelsystems.com.